Cool. Good afternoon, everybody. Let's get started. I'm sure we'll have some people joining us for the next 5 or 10 minutes. Good afternoon. Thank you for coming to see me today. For anyone who saw my session this morning, this is a different session. For anyone who didn't see my session this morning, just a quick introduction as to who I am. My name is Daniel Disney. I'm not related to Walt Disney. I have to say this every single time I speak. I'm a sort of salesperson turned social media trainer and speaker. So for me, my background is in sales. So when I learned to use social media to sell, it was a bit different from, say, a marketing person who would use it to generate engagement and leads. And for me, it's more about generating real customers and real revenue. So what I'm going to cover today is it's a social media boot camp. I'm going to go through some of the key areas of effective social media use for salespeople, for marketing, for businesses, to help them get a bit more from some of the different social networks. We're going to talk about LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter, and hopefully lots and lots of stuff for you guys to take away and utilize. Just a bit of a background as to why I'm here, some of the things I've achieved over the last few years. I've grown a very large audience on LinkedIn, over 500,000 followers to my company page and 55,000 followers to me personally. Audience growing by at least 10,000 new followers every single month. I've written tons of blogs, content reaches lots of people, and I've generated a lot of revenue through social media. So what I'm going to share with you today is how you can get the most out of it. Now, social media is ever changing, and what I'm going to share with you today, it's different to what was working 3 years ago. It's different to what was working 5 years ago. But everything we cover is what's working now. It's what I'm using right now. So let's just look at some of the statistics, because I think a lot of businesses and salespeople don't quite fully appreciate the impact and size of social media and the impact it can have on our business. 3.2 billion daily active social media users. 3.2 billion. 42% of the population, and up over 500,000 since last year. That's a huge number. And when you think about it, think about each of you individually. How often do you use social media? For a lot of us, it's the first thing we check in the morning when we wake up. It's the last thing we check before we go to bed. And it's everything we check every 10 to 15 minutes throughout the day. A lot of people are glued to social media. It's a big part of our lives. And as salespeople, as businesses, it's an amazing opportunity to connect and reach with people. 2.22 hours per day spent on social networks and messaging. Nearly 2.5 hours every day, on average, spent on social media. That's a lot of time. It wouldn't have been that long ago that these would be the numbers that people would be saying that people were spending on the phone, making phone calls. But it's different now. People aren't spending hours and hours chatting on the phone anymore. They're sat scrolling through their social media feeds, sending messages to each other, replying to messages. This is a really important statistic, and I kind of want you to remember this as we go through all the sections today. 91% of all social media users are using it via their mobile. And I can imagine, if you think about it, probably the majority that you each use social media is done through your mobile. We each have these amazing smartphones now, and it's so easy to use it. The importance of understanding that is when you're creating and sharing content, is to remember that the people viewing it will be doing it through their phone. It's important to make sure it's optimized, your website is optimized, your social media channels and content is all optimized for mobile usage. Or otherwise it's not going to have the right impact. 80% of time spent on social occurs via mobile. Looking at some of the different networks, Facebook is the second most popular site for watching videos, behind YouTube. And some people don't really associate YouTube as a social media channel, but it really is. Between YouTube and Facebook, and including Instagram now, and to be fair, even Twitter and LinkedIn, they're amazing platforms for sharing videos, and we are consuming videos so much now. Very, very powerful tool for sharing your message. Looking at some of the younger generations, 72% of teens say they currently use Instagram. Now, teens might not be your customers now, but it won't be too long before they will be decision makers of the future. And this is going to be their platform of choice. So it's important, again, as businesses and salespeople, that we constantly adapt and make sure we're using all of the platforms. I shared a post last week. 2 weeks ago, I won a B2B, business-to-business sale through Instagram. But the sort of irony to it is, I'm not massively active on Instagram. I'm not sharing stories every day or posting content all the time. The key bit was the prospect who bought from me. We were connected on LinkedIn. We were connected on Facebook. They had my phone number. They had my email address. They chose to communicate through me to me through Instagram. That was their choice. That was their preferred platform. They could have picked up the phone and called me, but they didn't. They could have sent me an email. They didn't. They sent me messages through Instagram. And we each have these different preferences. 1 billion hours of video watched on YouTube every single day. Video is an amazing form of content. I spent a bit of time looking at some of the websites and social channels for attendees and exhibitors that are here today. And some of you guys have amazing video content. The key is presenting it in the best way and sharing it in the best way. So I spent a bit of time doing some research. I was tempted to sort of do a bit of name and shaming, but I was told, no, let's not name and shame people in this session. So instead, I'm going to give you some sort of overall bullet points from what I observed. So no one's going to be called out for anything, but what I'm going to show you is some of the traps that I've seen a lot of companies falling into, and then I'm going to present you the opportunities, and then we'll go through all of each area in a bit more detail. So some of the traps that I noticed when looking at a lot of the yacht industry, charter industry, social pages, and content. Number one was repetitive content. Just the same style, tone, and message over and over and over. Mostly advertisement-style content. So people just posting about their products or their offers. And the reality is on social media, think about how you each use it personally. How often do you engage in that sort of content? Probably very rarely. We engage in the content that gives value to us, that entertains us, that makes us think, not the adverts. So point number two is low-value content. A lot of the businesses I saw, the content they were sharing was low value. It wasn't entertaining to the viewer. It wasn't beneficial, valuable, informative, insightful. It was simply advertisement-focused content. Now, for anyone who was in my session this morning, my recommendation, and I'm very passionate about this, you need to get the split right. A lot of companies, including yacht industry ones, about 80% of the content they share is about them. Here's my products, here's my offers, here's my testimonials, and maybe 20% is valuable, insightful stuff. You need to flip that right round. 80% of the content that you share on your personal pages, on your company pages, on any social network should be valuable to the audience. Give first, and you'll then earn the opportunity to promote. The best thing will be when you do then promote, you will drive more engagement and more opportunities because you've given value up front. Give to receive. Advertisement content works when you've given first. 20% of your content can be advertisement as long as 80% is valuable content. I'll give you some ideas for that in a minute. Low quality content. I saw a fair few photos, posts, even videos where the quality wasn't great. And a lot of you have amazing opportunities to create amazing content, but it's attending to little details like picture quality, video quality, how the post is written and presented. Again, we're going to cover this today. The last and one of the biggest sins is inconsistency. Maybe posting once a week, once every 2 weeks. It's not consistent. And if you really want to make social media work, you need to be there every day. But it doesn't take a lot of time. You can be super impactful on social media from as little as 15 minutes a day. Consistency is massively important. So let's look at the opportunities. Post every day. Every day. But I post every day, and most of my posts take no more than 5 to 10 minutes to do. For me personally and my company page. It's not a lot of time. You don't have to sit there for hours creating content. It's about creating the right content. 80% value, 20% promotional. Give more than you take. Try and create high quality content. Take good photos, take good videos, write good posts. Again, I'm going to show you how to do that in a bit. Open the doors to you and your business. Social media works best when you let people in and show them you. Show them your world, your office, your staff, your culture. Let people in. It's not about showing them the window shop. Social media isn't about someone walking past your shop window and seeing the lovely stand that you've got with your latest products. It's about opening the doors and letting them into your business. Show them you, show them what you're doing. People buy from people, and social media is a great opportunity for you to open the doors and show them you as human beings. Build trust, give value, earn credibility, and you'll win more customers. And the last opportunity is encourage more personal brands. Really push your company pages, but also push your individual teams' pages. Make sure people are using their own personal profiles when they want to and on the platforms they want to for business. And everyone should have a choice. Some people just want to have Facebook for their own personal use, which is absolutely fine. But maybe they want to use Twitter or an Instagram for business. Maybe they want to use LinkedIn for business. Encourage them to build their personal brands by sharing content regularly. So what I'm going to go through is some key areas which you'll see the theming is very applicable across all different social networks of how you can really get a bit more from it. So we'll start off with profiles. First question that I encourage you to ask yourselves on a regular basis is, what would your prospects and customers think if they viewed your profile and pages today? If one of your prospects or customers looked at your personal profiles, if they looked at your company pages or profiles, what would they think? Would it paint a good impression or maybe a not so good impression? One of the ways I like to look at it, and a lot of you are sort of amplifying this at the moment, when you come to events, when you see customers, you dress smart. We make a lot of effort to look professional and good. We will spend money on nice outfits. We will make sure our hair is nice, that we look presentable, because that's what being professional is about. You want to make a good impression. Very, very rarely do we apply that same logic to our digital presence. And for a lot of you, the first impression you're actually ever going to make to a customer or a prospect is digitally. They're going to see your company pages, they'll look at your personal profiles, and that's going to make their first impression. So it's making your profiles look as good digitally as you do physically. And it can be converted into sales. So I'm going to give you an example of how a LinkedIn profile view turned into a sale for me. LinkedIn has an added benefit where it will show you who views your profile. None of the other social networks allow you to do this. Again, for anyone who was in my session this morning, I talked about inbound and outbound. So there are two ways you generate business on social media. One is by getting people to come to you, inbound opportunities. So they might view your profile, like what they see, and they'll send you a message saying, "Hey, Dan, interested in what you're selling. Can you send me some more information?" Great. Inbound opportunities. The other area of it is to generate outbound. Now, LinkedIn's the only place you can really do that at the moment. So you can see who's viewed your profile. Some of them will be prospects, and you can use it to start a conversation. So in this example, I had the managing director and the sales director of a company view my profile. Now, it was 3 hours from when they viewed it and when I checked. I'd had no message, no email, no phone call. What I later found out had happened was they were sat in the office talking about various things going on with the sales team, and they were talking about LinkedIn and social selling. And the sales director had been following me, so they had a look at my profile, discussed that maybe they could do a bit more, and then they put that on the wall, pinned it, and talked about everything else. I may never have heard from them for days, weeks, months. We all know what it's like. We have those conversations, loads of them, talk about all these wonderful things we want to do, and then we get sucked back into the day-to-day normal routine. However, I saw that they viewed my profile, so I sent them a message, both of them. Very simply saying, "Hi, thanks for viewing my profile. I'd love to know what your company's doing around social selling at the moment. Kind regards, Dan." Short, sweet, nothing aggressive, just conversation starting. I had a reply from the managing director within 5 minutes. "Hi, Dan, it's funny, we were just talking about this today. We use LinkedIn quite a bit, but we're interested to see if we could get more from it. Can you please speak to my sales director?" Set up the phone call. I was able to turn that phone call into several meetings that eventually turned into a sale. Again, I could have left it to chance, and maybe they would have reached out, maybe not. But I checked, and I used it to start a conversation. Having a good profile is a great way. Done right, you'll get inbound opportunities. Utilizing things like LinkedIn, you can also use it to start conversations, outbound opportunities. So I'm going to go through a LinkedIn profile simply because it's the most comprehensive profile you're going to get on social media. What you will do on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter is just take these same methods within each section that's relevant to each social network. So let's start off. First of all, on LinkedIn, you can change your profile web address. So when you set up a LinkedIn profile, LinkedIn will give you an address, and it will be linkedin.com/in/12zxy379201, random combination of letters and numbers. Very, very difficult to share. Really easy to share, to change. Top right-hand corner, edit public profile URL. This will take you to this screen. Top right-hand corner again, little pen symbol, and you can change it. linkedin.com/your name, your business name, your name and your business name. Could be Daniel Disney trainer, Daniel Disney speaker, anything you want, as long as it's not already taken. Super easy to do, but then what it allows you to do is share it. So add it into your email signature. Add it to your business cards. Add it onto your website. Drive people to your profile. When it's good, drive people to it. Let's look at some of the key areas, and this will be applicable on all social networks. Your profile photo. Common sin for profile photos is people will either use photos from weddings that they were at, or perhaps not so appropriate photos. And actually, it's super easy to get good photos. My ultimate tip is get a professional photographer to do a headshot. Proper lighting, proper background, you're not going to beat that. However, if you can't afford it, or if you're not ready to do that yet, most of us have really powerful cameras on our phones. All you need to do is find a nice blank background and get someone to take a headshot, shoulders and above, in a well-lit area. Most phones are capable of taking really good quality photos. I can't emphasize the importance of having a nice plain background. If I was to take a photo now and have you all in the back, it clutters the image. Make it nice and clear. Number 2 is the background. You'll have this on LinkedIn. I believe you have this on Instagram as well, and maybe Twitter as well, actually. You get this background. And so many people don't utilize that. But it's your own billboard. It's your own advert. Like you're driving along the road and you see those billboards on the side. This is your own digital billboard. So create something that makes an impact. You don't need to have another picture of you. That's just because I'm too vain. And obviously, I'm the product that I sell. But that could be your product. It could be your company logo. And what you want to do is just have some key words about what it is you do. Because you want that first impression to tell people who you are and what you offer. Make it as simple and engaging as possible. What is it that you offer? How can you help people? A nice image. If possible, make the background match your profile photo background. If your company branding is purple, try and have a picture taken in front of a purple background so it looks symmetrical, like a uniform. Maybe have your email address on there or your contact details as well. Not sure why there was a blank screen in there. How strange. And that's because it's now not working. Click us back. Okay, summary. As we scroll down, we then get to your summary. And each social network will have a summary, differs in size. LinkedIn has the biggest summary section. So with the other networks, you'll only have a smaller version of this. The key is, what a lot of people put in these is like a little personal description, a mini about me section. And it's not about you. It's about them. How do you help them? Who do you help? How do you help them? And who have you helped before? Show people what it is you do, who you work with, and how you've done it before. So my name is Dan. I help companies book yachts for various things. I tend to work with X, Y, and Z. Here are some examples of companies I've worked with and what they've achieved by working with me. Then, at the bottom, have your contact details. Make it as easy as possible for people to get in touch with you. On LinkedIn as well, you can add media, add flyers, add photos, add testimonials. People take notice of these things. LinkedIn goes a bit further than other social networks, so then you can add skills and endorsements. For those that have used LinkedIn, these don't carry much weight. People don't look at these and think that you're amazing because a lot of people will endorse you. They don't know who you are. So these aren't massively credible. But what you can do is you can choose the 3 that sit at the top. My advice, very simply, is make sure those 3 are the most relevant to what you do, the industry that you work in. What is so valuable on LinkedIn especially is recommendations. We live in a review and recommendation world. I don't buy anything online unless I've found some good reviews for it. LinkedIn has that built into your profile. You can have your customers telling potential customers how great you are. So my advice is make sure you're always asking for recommendations. Every time you get a new customer, ask them to write you a recommendation on LinkedIn. When they do, thank them and ask them if you can share it on social media. And then you've got some nice mini testimonials that you can share. So profile top tips. Looking at all the platforms, get a professional profile photo done. A lot of professional photographers offer headshots at a pretty reasonable price. I'd recommend inquiring on some local photographers. If not, just find a nice blank wall and get someone to take a picture with your phone. Get that good professional social profile photo done and make sure it's on all your channels. Design that billboard background. Now, I use a website called canva.com, canva.com. If you get confused, just pop me a message and I'll link you to it after the session today. You can create social media backgrounds for free, and it is literally drag and drop. That's how I create mine. So easy to use. Canva.com. Design a really good billboard background. Create a captivating profile title. So again, show people what it is you do, how you help. Make sure your profile is filled with keywords, so when people search for it, they find you. You need to have all the relevant keywords in there. Have an elevator pitch profile summary. So your summary needs to be driven at how you help people, who you help, how you help them, and how you've helped people in a similar position. Always give and ask for recommendations. Check your profile views on LinkedIn. And make sure those contact details are on all your profiles. LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Make sure your contact details are there. So people will see your images, they'll see your content, and they'll see your phone number, email address, website, whatever it may be. You want to drive people to go sort of off social, learn more, and hopefully get in touch. You've got a good profile now, hopefully. Great, strong profile, which you can use to generate opportunities. Now I want to show you some of the search functions. Again, we'll look at LinkedIn heavily for this because LinkedIn has so many search functions, but a lot of this is applicable through Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. One of the areas that not many people look for potential business is content. Again, whether it's Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, or LinkedIn, search for your keywords and search the content section. So if I go onto Facebook and type in yacht, it's going to give me loads of results. I can search people, I can search for posts. On LinkedIn, I could type in yacht, and I could search under content. And it's going to show me a few things. One, the person posting the content could be a prospect. They're clearly talking about something relevant in the industry. So I might want to contact them to start a conversation. 2, 23 people clicked like, 3 people wrote a comment. I can see them. I can see all 23 people that click like, and I can see all 3 people that commented. Same across all social networks. Clearly, they like the subject, which is relevant to your industry. Some of them could be prospects. Use it to find them, see them, and start a conversation. And the social media feed is full of posts like this. Tons of opportunities that you might not be taking advantage of by not looking at content. LinkedIn adds another really good feature, which took me a while to find out this one, but they have this people also viewed section. So when I'm searching on LinkedIn, maybe I come across Jamie's profile. Great, she's a prospect. I'm going to send her a message. I'm going to go back to searching, move on. It took me a long time to realize that LinkedIn had this wonderful little section on her profile where it would show me similar people. And most of the time, these are similar people in similar companies in similar positions. A lot of them were prospects. So LinkedIn is literally showing you other potential prospects. Use these lists, connect with them, communicate with them, but don't let it bite you because LinkedIn is doing that for your prospects. Now, it's also going to do that for you. So when your prospects view your profile, guess what? LinkedIn's going to show them similar people in similar companies in similar positions, more likely to be your competitors. And we don't want that. We don't want to send your prospects to your competitors. So go into your settings, under privacy, third one down, and you can switch it off. So when people view your profile, LinkedIn's not directing them to the competition, which we don't want. Groups are best on Facebook. Groups are terrible on LinkedIn. On Facebook, groups are amazing. I would highly, highly recommend join as many relevant groups on LinkedIn, but definitely Facebook. And if there are none that you really gel to, create one. Create your own group that you can then orchestrate. I would highly advise that you make it neutral. It shouldn't be a group about your company or your product. It's a group about the industry. Get people in, but you're there orchestrating it. You're orchestrating the content that goes out. You control it. You can talk to the audience. But groups are amazing. Be present in them, contribute to them, engage in them. They're full of prospects. And some of these groups get massive, absolutely massive. Once you find people, whether it's on LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, etc., you have the opportunity to connect with them. Once you've connected with them, you have the opportunity to talk to them. Now, on LinkedIn, when you send a connection request to someone, you have the opportunity to personalize it. And I would highly recommend you do, because it gives you an advantage of increasing the chance they'll accept. And that's the challenge with LinkedIn. You might send a connection request to a prospect, doesn't mean they'll accept it. They can easily say, no. Nope, don't want to connect with that person. They look like they're going to just try and sell to me. I'm not interested. So what you want to do is try and calm those nerves, build a bit of trust. Again, as with everything, keep it simple. It's not about selling, it's about connecting. Simple things like this. Hi, Tom, love to connect, kind regards. That person knows I want to connect with them. I'm not just adding everyone. But they also know I'm not trying to sell to them. I just want to connect. Nice and simple. If you can reference content that they've shared, even better. Tony, loved your post recently about sales, would love to connect. Brilliant. And these can be used after you connect with someone. Let's say you connect with someone on Facebook, or you follow someone on Instagram or Twitter. These are great conversation starting messages. Hi, Tom. Great to follow you on Twitter. Loved that post you shared yesterday. Really insightful. I really loved this part of it. Glad to be following you for more content. If you've got a referral or a mutual connection, leverage it. Tony, I was recommended to connect with you by John Smith, who's a mutual connection of ours. Would be great to connect on here. Kind regards, Dan. The key is you're not trying to sell. You're trying to connect and talk. Where it really comes to life is in the world of content. So hopefully after this, you'll have great profiles. You're starting to find some different ways of searching for potential customers. Now what we want to do is share and create good content. Good content. Content that's 80% more valuable to your customers. Content that's going to get their attention. Content that people aren't just going to scroll past. Content that they're going to click on. They're going to enjoy, and it's going to increase the chances they want to buy from you. We're going to avoid the trap of over-advertisement. And I'm going to give you some examples of how to create effective content. Just some overall top tips to get us started. First of all, do it properly. Take time. Not hours, but take time to make sure you're getting it right. The majority of content out there is bad. We all know it, because we all scroll past so much content before we ever click on anything. A lot of it's bad. Do it properly. Use humor. Show people that you're human. Show people that your company is human, that you're not there just trying to sell stuff. Use quality images and texts. Find quality images, create quality images. Look for keywords and trending subjects that you can write about. Create strong titles. I'm going to show you what I mean by that in a second. Use video content. Not just videos of beautiful yachts sailing across the sea, but videos of you talking. Maybe videos of you on a yacht. Videos of you in work. Where possible, include real information. We all know a lot of stuff on social media is just opinion. Everyone uses social media to sort of share what they think of everything. People really appreciate when there's real insight shared, real information. And make sure it's relevant. Everything should align to the industry that you sell in. Let me give you some examples. And again, this is applicable across all social networks. Posts, statuses, or updates. Blocks of text where you share stories, updates, etc. A few things that I really want to emphasize with this. Number one is the headline, the title. So important. That's your bait. You cast out the fishing rod with this post. Unless you open it well, people aren't going to read on. So you need to open up all your content with a bang. This one, you don't need to sell ice to an Eskimo unless they need it, of course. For me, working in the sales industry, a very relevant opening to a post. Make it engaging and catchy. Another really important part, the gaps. Doesn't matter which social network you're using, those gaps help. Why? Because when we're on social media, whether it's phone or computer, we're scrolling. We're not reading a book. Chunky texts and paragraphs are really hard to get engagement through on social media. Break it up. I see amazing posts where they're all clunky paragraphs, so they don't drive any decent likes or comments or engagements or opportunities. Simply break it up a little bit, and you'll get better engagement because more people will read it, more people will enjoy it. Hashtags. Don't over hashtag. I see a lot of people, common sin, they'll chuck in 10, 20 hashtags in this sort of desperate bid for engagement. Have relevant hashtags, but don't over hashtag. Have bullet points, have capital letters where applicable. Tag people in where applicable. Break it up though, make it engaging. Tell good stories. These posts work best when you share stories. I shared one today, just after lunch, inspired from my talk I did this morning. And I'm a social selling trainer, and the irony of my talk this morning was I was telling people to make more cold calls, which in the sales world is kind of unheard of. Most social media people are telling people to not use the phone and use social media. So I shared a post talking about why it's important to use all tools, structured exactly like this. It took me all of, 7 minutes to write. But last time I checked, after about an hour, well over 80 likes, a few thousand views, few comments, and a few messages. Not bad for 7 minutes work. Tell stories. So top tips, have those eye-catching headlines. Invite them in, give them something to read about. Make sure you've got those clear spaces between the sentences and paragraphs. Break it up as much as you can. My rule of thumb is, ideally, no more than 2 lines per sentence, per paragraph. Anything more than that, it gets a bit clunky. Have relevant hashtags on things like LinkedIn and Facebook, Twitter. 3 to 4 is a decent number. Instagram, you can stretch to a few more, but don't over hashtag because it makes you look desperate for attention. And it very rarely delivers massive engagement that justifies it. Tag people in where relevant. Don't just tag them in for the sake of it, but try and include stories where you talk to people. So I might put, had a great chat with John Smith, tagging John Smith in, about X, Y, and Z. It's relevant. Beauty of it is, he's tagged in, he'll engage with it. Always, always, always give as much value as possible through the post. Number 2 is quotes. Could be motivational, inspirational, could be statistics. Could be something like 51% of charter companies saw an improvement of X or Y when they implemented this. Turn them into strong images like this, done through Canva, by the way, canva.com. It's free, I'm not making money from it. Talk about it a lot because it's really good and easy to use. Create a nice little image of the quote and share it with some thoughts. People love motivational quotes. Your customers, your prospects will love inspirational, motivational, or data-driven quotes. Find good ones, share some thoughts with them, so add the text with them as much as you need to. Turn them into images and make sure they're relatable and relevant to your customers. The next one is photos. There's a bit of irony that this is actually a boat. I hadn't even connected the dots on that one. Photos are an amazing opportunity, and there are loads of different ways you can share photos. It could be a photo of you with your peers, a photo of you with your colleagues, obviously photos of amazing boats, charter systems. There's so many things you can take photos of. It's also an opportunity for you to show people you outside of work. Now, where relevant and where appropriate. This post I shared last year was after I spent a very busy Monday to Friday delivering training 9 to 5, and then between 5 and midnight, I was doing project work for other customers. So I didn't see my kids that week at all. So that weekend, I dedicated it to them. And we went out and drove these wonderful little mini boats. I was terrible at driving those mini boats, crashed it way more times than I'll ever like to admit. But I got this lovely picture of me and my youngest son, Josh. And I had an opportunity to share this picture with a message I knew would connect with my customers. So I talked about how a lot of people who are driven to try and achieve success, who are driven to try and, progress, etc., can find it hard to find balance between work and personal life. You might not have kids. It might be you and your friends, you and your family, your parents, siblings, etc. It can be very difficult to keep that balance. My message was, whilst I hadn't seen them that week, I tried to make sure I dedicated every second of the weekend to them to keep that balance. Something I knew would connect with a lot of people in my audience. But it also got to show people I'm not just someone selling something. I'm not just someone trying to sell training, speaking, whatever. That I'm a dad. And that's my son. And that's why I work. And for my customers and my prospects, that's a very powerful thing. That's the sort of stuff that breaks down those trust barriers. Because you think, if I walk into a shop and I see a salesperson spot me and start coming towards me, I'm running the opposite direction. I don't want to be sold to. No one wants to be sold to. No one likes salespeople. Because what happens is they'll come up to you, hi, you okay? Can I try and sell you this? Let's talk about this. They just want to sell you something. No one wants that. So when you can shed away all of that and show people a human being, that's different. You break down those trust barriers and you invite more people to talk to you. So let's look at some photo tips relevant to you guys in the industry. And these are taken from some of your channels. You might recognize them in the room. These are ones I've taken from good examples within the industry. High quality photos. Look at these amazing photos. Some of them you will create. Some of them you'll be able to find online. Obviously, make sure they're not copyright protected if you're going to share them. High quality photos. I mean, there probably isn't a better photogenic industry than boats and yachts. Try and get some really good ones and find creative ways to take new, different photos that will interest and excite people. Team photos. Oh, these do amazing. I see so many people come to me and they'll be like, oh yeah, we shared, usual generic company content. And actually the content that gets the most engagement is the ones we share of our team. People want to see the people. Open the doors, show them the things you do, the things you've achieved. I saw a great post from a sales manager who on a Friday shared a picture of an empty office. All the desks were empty. It was Friday morning. And his post was very simple. It just said, great to see all of my sales reps out visiting their customers. And everyone loved it because it was a nice message. No one's there hammering the phones. They're all out visiting, spending time with their customers. Show pictures of you, your people, your colleagues, your peers. You have the best opportunity right now. You're at an event with your colleagues, with industry peers. Take photos with the people you see and post about it on social. It shows that you're immersed in your industry. You're dedicated to what it is you do. Themes and occasions. Everyone loves to find and engage with relevant content. When it's Halloween, post relevant content. At Christmas, post relevant content. There's got to be yachts with Christmas decorations up. Use the themes of things that are happening around you, the occasions. Not just your sort of main festive occasions, everything. Look at what people are talking about the most. Make sure the quality is good. Share pictures of you so people get to know you and they get to see you. Use well-lit areas. This isn't the best lit area, being completely honest. It's got a very sort of beigey look. Go for well-lit areas. Outside in the day, you're going to get the best photos. Take group photos with colleagues, with peers. Honestly, photos do amazing. If you want people to buy from you, show them you. Let them see you in everything you do. Next one, memes. For anyone who doesn't know what a meme is, because there are lots out there's nothing right or wrong about that. A meme is very simple. It's an image in the middle, followed by some text at the top and bottom that relates to something. So this one is making fun of how younger people don't like to make phone calls. These provide a lot of entertainment. They're humorous, they're funny, but they're relevant. And these do well on every social network. LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, they're funny, they're entertaining. Super easy to create. I've got free meme creator on my phone. There's websites that you can do it for free. Quick word of warning, 2 warnings, I guess. 1, most of the images you'll see and use in a meme are technically protected images. They're often images from films. Someone would have taken this image of a monkey. You don't own the images. So just be cautious. I've been sharing memes for about 4 years now on social media, and I've read a lot into it. From what I understand, as long as you don't directly make money, so if I took that meme and printed it on a t-shirt and sold the t-shirt, I'm liable then. I'm directly making profit from that image. But sharing it on social media tends to be okay. Again, just check it, make sure it aligns with your company's brands, and use unprotected images where possible. Top tips, make sure it's relevant to your industry, create your own, but have a search. I bet if you type yacht meme into Google, probably find there's quite a lot out there. Try and avoid swearing. Some people are very used to using social media personally, and some people are quite happy to swear, which is fine. But this is your customers, and I haven't met many businesses that would be too happy with their employees swearing in front of customers. Try and avoid them being too aggressive or too negative. It's nice to poke fun at things, but keep that balance, and just make sure they're entertaining and relatable. Video. Video is a huge part of our world right now, and it's an amazing way of sharing content. Keep them short and sweet. Only things unlike YouTube can you get away with 10, 15-minute, hour-plus videos if they're valuable. But on things like Instagram, LinkedIn, and Facebook, short, sweet videos, 1 to 3 minutes long. Make sure they're value-packed, obviously, and ideally with subtitles and captions. There's an amazing statistic released only a few weeks ago highlighting that 80% of videos that are watched through social media are listened to on mute because a lot of people are consuming it at work in the day. So they can't have the volume up, they can't listen to what you're saying, which is why it's so important to have subtitles of what it is you're saying. Now I use something, again, pop me a message if you're interested, something called Subtitle, not free unfortunately, but not very expensive. You buy minutes. So I'll record a video, upload it, they'll add the subtitles, I'll download it, super easy, comes at a short cost, but makes a big difference. When I shared videos without subtitles, I used to get so many people messaging me saying, can you please add the subtitles? I can't listen to it. Keep them short and sweet, having those subtitles. Make sure you've got a well-lit and tidy background. Share you a quick story. I had a sales rep from a company share a video for the first time last year. Great, good effort. The problem was they chose this spot in their office, a window and a wall. Now on the wall, paint was peeling off. There were stains all over the wall. The window was dirty, and it was a pretty miserable day in the UK, obviously. They were stood there in a white shirt with the biggest coffee stain down their shirt. It did not paint a good picture for that company or that sales rep. So whilst they were sharing a video, which is good, make sure your environment is well lit, tidy, you're clean, no coffee stains, look professional. Speak with passion and energy. It's no different to being on the phone. When you're training your sales rep or your customer service team or anyone in the business to talk on the phone, you don't want them talking on the phone in the same tone as if they're reading off a piece of paper. It's not very exciting. And it's the same with video. Don't sit there and not look at the camera or just talk in the same tone. Show some energy, show some enthusiasm. It's your chance to get people to buy in. Be enthusiastic, write the key points in the post above, as with everything. Practice really makes perfect. Hands up, who's recorded a video of themselves to share on social media? 1, 2, not many. I know why a lot of you haven't done it, because it is scary and it is not comfortable. I remember the first videos I ever did, literally sitting in my car, because it was the quietest place and no one else could see me, and holding my phone up and recording videos. It was horrible. I can't stand to watch myself on video. It's just not nice. But it's so valuable. And as with anything, the more you do it, the better you get. I love getting in front of videos now. Don't mind it at all. The first phone call I made was uncomfortable. The first time I knocked someone's door to try and sell them something, it was uncomfortable. Sometimes we need to step out of our comfort zone, and practice really does make perfect with video. My recommendation is go away and just record yourself. Record yourself in a short little video. You don't have to post it. but just practice getting in front of a camera and recording yourself. You will get better at it, as with everything. Step out your comfort zone, but video, massively amazing platform. Right, I'm going to share with you some top trends for this year and going into next year to kind of bring this all together. First is live video. So we talked about recording video, but there's live video. So Facebook Live is such an amazing channel. LinkedIn is just introducing live video. It's not out yet for everyone. There's only a small percentage of people using it. Soon, probably early next year, everyone will be able to share live video on LinkedIn. But Facebook Lives are amazing. You can host live sessions with your customers, give value, share stories, bring in experts, do interviews. Live video is an amazing, amazing, amazing opportunity where you can talk to people live via a video platform. Let people inside. Open the windows to your business. This is what's working and will continue to work. Share everything you're doing. Provide virtual tours. Share content of you, your colleagues, your customers. Share your culture and your mission. I visit amazing companies. You walk in the office and you're hit by this amazing atmosphere that they have. Everyone's happy. Everyone's positive. They're working hard. You look at their social channels and it's dull and boring. It's not the same. Don't look at social media to just share the corporate stuff. Let people in, let them see you and what you do, because often you're the difference. I guarantee you, you're all surrounded by competitors that offer similar, if not the same product. Some of it's cheaper, some of it maybe not so much. The difference will often be you and the people within your business. So show them that. Mobile social media, I mentioned to you earlier, create content via mobile to make sure it's applicable, or at least make sure as much of your website and content is social media friendly, because that's where people are using it. Stories and in-the-moment content is massively growing. Instagram stories, Facebook stories. I have no doubt that LinkedIn will adopt stories at some point, probably later next year, where it's just short snippets. Some of them are like 10-second mini clips. Some of them are very short posts. But it's live, in-the-moment stuff. Not pre-prepped, not planned. Live, in-the-moment, captured content. So some top tips for each network. Facebook. Join and or create industry-relevant groups. Groups are hot on Facebook right now. Share content every single day. Shouldn't take you more than 10 minutes minimum. Share live videos on a regular basis. You could host a live every Friday. Theme it. Every Friday, you're going to do a Q&A session for half an hour and answer people's questions about the industry. You might start off with 2 views, but after a while, you keep doing it, create a hashtag, more people will come. Include links to your pages in emails and website. Every time you send an email, make sure there's a link to your Facebook pages. On your website, make sure it links to your Facebook page. Drive people to it. Twitter, share content 2 or 3 times per day. Twitter's short but sweet, so tweets, short texts, short bursts, but on a regular basis each day. Again, use the platforms your customers use. You don't have to use all of these. If you don't have customers on Twitter, don't use it. Go where your customers are. Look at where your prospects and customers are. If it is Twitter, share content regularly, focus on short updates and photos, include key hashtags. Twitter's big on hashtags, and create your own hashtag. Create a hashtag relevant to you that you can then have on all your posts, because people will start to follow it. If you're giving value, they'll want to see that on a regular basis, and it will start to create something that follows you around. Instagram, obviously photo heavy. Share photos 1 to 2 times per day. Good photos. Include short videos or photos in your story. Have at least 5 to 6 plus hashtags, a bit more hashtag heavy on Instagram. And only share the best possible photos. I've seen some amazing yacht industry company Instagram accounts that have got, well, I saw some that went up to like 50,000 followers. Probably the key part, more than anything, was the quality of their content. Top quality photos. Find or create the best quality. LinkedIn, you want to share on LinkedIn about once a day. No more than that. It's too much on LinkedIn. Once a day is fine. Build your personal brands. So have a company page on LinkedIn, but really push your own individual profiles. Share your own stories. LinkedIn's a people network, as is sales. Always give lots of value, same for every social network, and share a variety of content forms. Don't just share photos, mix it up. I will have a post on a Monday, maybe I'll share a photo on a Tuesday, I might share a video on a Wednesday. Variety really helps. Just to recap on the opportunities within the yacht industry, post consistently every day, 80% value, 20% advertisement. Give way more than you take. Highest possible quality content, open the doors to you and your businesses, and encourage personal brands. Encourage people to talk and contribute their content. That's the core message from today. I will make sure these slides are available. If you don't get them, pop me a message. That's today. Those are the links to me on social media. I hope you've enjoyed it and taken a lot from it. I don't think we have time for questions because I think we've got time. A couple of questions. If anyone has questions, let me know. If we go over that, I'll be around for the next couple of hours, so come and find me. I've got a little stand and I'll answer your questions. Has anyone got any questions before we finish?
This morning you mentioned about researching prospects. With the acting industry in charter, it's a bit more complicated. It's more like stalking, where if you are researching a private person who sent an inquiry. So is it maybe better, especially on LinkedIn, where they can see who watched their profile?
First thing to remember is LinkedIn's the only one they'll see it. So if you look at them on Facebook, they're not going to know that you viewed their profile. Obviously on LinkedIn they do, but not many people check their profile views. And if they do, people rarely think twice about it. So it has a minimal impact. It doesn't look like stalking. The only time it does, and it's happened sometimes, is when you get someone looking at their profile every single day for like a week. And sometimes I'll see it on my profile and I'll check and it's the same person every day looking. And you're starting to think, what's this guy doing? You know, that's a bit stalkery. Generally, a bit of research once or twice, no one's going to notice.
When we view their profile and maybe also in message, send them an in message, is it then invading their privacy?
Oh,
An inquiry through the web, and we contact them through LinkedIn. We send them an offer, they didn't reply.
if they've contacted you via an inquiry, I would recommend either doing phone or email first, and then after that, connect with them on LinkedIn. Don't bypass the first proper contact, but definitely do it after you've started that conversation, because then it shows you're kind of growing the relationship. Okay?
Now, those numbers what you gave through your presentation, are they involving globally, or is just Western world?
There's global numbers.
Now, what about WeChat? Do you have any experience with Chinese WeChat?
No.
Just wondering.
I can look for it, though. I can have a look after today and try and get you it sort of post the session. Any other questions? Cool. Okay, well, I'm going to be at my stand, so if you have questions, feel free to come up to me one-to-one. Hope you enjoy the rest of the day. Thank you very much.